And so the next meeting of the federal government was held, and of course, the Vice President Kashim Shettima chaired it. Some very knotty issues were not, handled conclusively. One being the issue of state policing and many more other areas. Anyway, we'll be giving you that and other stories on people and politics this morning. Welcome. I am Bonnie Bonobu.
I'm Anastasia Odochi.
Right, Vice President Kashim Shettima yesterday presided over the National Economic Council NEC meeting at the State House, Abuja. Several key national issues, including insecurity and state policing, were expected to dominate the agenda. The outcome of the meeting was expected to shape federal and state level collaborations in tackling insecurity, boosting economic growth, and enhancing governance in Nigeria. Well, the next meeting held, some of the outcome we heard, the issue of state police was also tabled, but could not be conclusively handled. Of course, other matters did come up, but of course they have to be submitted to the president, and indeed maybe more policy issues will be the outcome, basically.
Every time they meet in Abuja and we hear they've made this resolution, they've made this resolution. When are we going to see really concrete action to some of these resolutions? For me, I think that is what I want to hear. When they meet like this, just like we do our conventional meetings, do they have a review of the last meeting? What they talked about, how far implementation of what was discussed in the last meeting. I think this will help us. So that anytime they meet, they tell us, okay, the last time we meet, we agreed on this. This is how we have reached in last meeting's agreement. It's not like every week, every time you come to Abuja to meet, you spend so much money. You can be sure the extra codes involved in moving these governors to Abuja. Most of them must have flown private jets, Alawi for the security people, advanced team. After all, these were meetings that were held through technology during the COVID era. So much waste, more of talk and less action. So like my question is, I hope there's one of them I can ask. Do you people review your last meeting implementation level, or you just come and talk about what's trending and go?
Well, my worry is that the issue of insecurity, which is at the front burner, basically across the country, should have been a one agenda, just one agendum for the meeting to discuss. And in doing so, they should have looked at how do we tackle it and tell Nigerians, because for me, that was what I was expecting. Now, somebody said to be effective, which of course the leader of the Senate, Okoyemi Bamidele, did say last week, that they were considering a framework for state policing. That would have been top on the agenda, and that could have taken a whole day if they're approaching it from the different angles of, banditry, terrorism of the other kind, Fulani headers and farmers' collision or attacks, if you ask me, the current spate of attacks in several states in the Middle Belt, and some other things. We are not seeing that, but again, let's hope that all that is on their mind, because they are politicians, is not just 2027. The only time you hear anything like a high sounding drum from that end really is when they are talking about 2027. And I think it gets me worried, actually. It gets me really worried. I don't know. The states you mentioned are very integral in terms of food for the country. And I fear, as I say all the time, that next year, going forward, we may just have a whole lot more, food insecurity, that we may have to be eating maybe a quarter of what we used to eat in a day.